Sekunjalo independent media is venturing into an industry that is presumed to be losing its shine. The group's deal to acquire Independent News and Media South Africa was given the go-ahead last week. The Competition Commission has approved the second leg of a R2 billion deal that will see INMSA being sold to the Sekunjalo consortium.
Independent News and Media PLC is a media organization based in Dublin, Ireland. It has interest in 22 countries on 4 continents. The company owns over 200 print titles, more than 130 radio stations, and it's a leading press player in 5 countries. Here at home, its brands include The Star and Pretoria News. Sekunjalo's partners are the Public Investment Corporation, Chinese International TV, as well as the China African Development Fund. The Irish parent company needs to sell INMSA in order to pay off its outstanding €420 million debt. The Commission's approval was the last regulatory hurdle for the transaction. In terms of this ruling, Sekunjalo will own 55%, the PIC's share is 25%, and the remaining 20% will be held by Chinese International TV, which will form a Mauritius-registered entity, NUCO.
Now, reporter Nompusi Ziba got an exclusive interview with Sekunjalo Independent Media's chairman, Iqbal Serve. She asked him why the consortium decided to buy independent newspapers given the perceived global decline in print, this in an era where consumers are increasingly turning to digital media for their information needs.
The decision to buy independence has got 3 elements to it. The first is a philosophical one. And in that respect, we wanted to bring an important national asset back home under South African ownership. So I'm very delighted that we can actually do that. I think that's important. Secondly, it's a political one in that in South Africa it is quite sad that 20 years into our democracy, not a single large media group is black-owned. There have been a few instances where black individuals or companies have owned up to about 20% or so, but never before in the history of this country has there been a media house which is 100% black owned. So I think in that respect it's very important for transformation of our economy. It's very important for media in this country as well. As I said, we're 20 years into our democracy. From the business point of view, I mean, independent is a highly profitable business. There's always confusion about the state of the Irish parent that is under severe financial pressure. But the South African business is and remains a highly profitable one.
Doc, it would seem as though the ownership structure is rather complex. Given so many interests vested, who actually will be driving the business?
It's very straightforward, right? It's a Sekunjalo-led consortium. And I think consortiums are good because they bring a diversity of voices. We have labor as an important component of our consortium. We have community groupings as an important component of our consortium. We have women as an important component of our consortium. And we have ourselves as an anchor shareholder, as a black economic empowerment investment company. And so I think that's pretty straightforward.
Your consortium is called Sekunjalo Independent Media, and yet there are voices out there that are questioning the independence of the operation given your close association with government. What do you say to the critics out there?
I am never going to apologize, ever, for my role in the struggle against apartheid. The fact that I was the struggle doctor, the fact that I set up detention treatment centers and looked after political victims and was detained and all of those things, the fact that I opposed social injustice, I will not apologize for that. If that makes me a political person, so be it. Because those of us that fought in the struggle, we fought for democracy. We fought for our constitutional right to have voice in this country. One of the ways of having this voice is through owning of independent. The fact that I may know presidents of the US or presidents of the UK, the fact that I may go on state visits, the fact that I may know ministers throughout the world, the fact that I sit on boards that include presidents and ministers and governors is irrelevant. The point is, the independence of the independent group is done with an editorial advisory board, with a charter. The important thing is to give voice and have objectivity and fairness in what it represents.